Hey, what's up, fam? All right, so first of all, we're getting lighting right in here. We got our whole new studio here. So let me introduce myself and I'll share with you guys what to expect in this video and what my intentions are. So my name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, crypto, and business coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. And I'm here to help free as many people from the just over broke system where you are bound by time to make money. That's slavery. If you're bound by time to make money, if you have to clock in and clock out, and the only time you're making money is if you're working at a physical location or you're bound by time, you will always be enslaved to money. As Warren Buffett says, until you can make money while you sleep, you will never, ever be wealthy. But this goes much deeper than just building an online program or building an online business or going out and starting a business. There's a much deeper rooted thing that we need to focus on, which is subconscious mind programming. Okay. So I always tell people in our crypto academy, in the process of becoming a millionaire, what's more important than anything is who you're becoming. So if you're able to rewire your subconscious mind at a very deep level and understand that you are a created I am versus the great I am and get back to the great I am, you will be able to accomplish whatever you want, no matter what's happening with the economy, no matter what's happening with inflation or gas prices. There's multiple people throughout the world having completely different reactions. I'm not worried about the gas prices, but I know that some people are because they can't afford to go to work, and that's not okay. When gas prices go up, that shows me that things are going to collapse down. It gives us the opportunity to buy in and become very, very wealthy. So when I see gas prices and interest rates going up, that tells me there's a signal that there's going to be a market collapse. So I'm putting money on the sideline to buy the dip to change my family's life and wealth and generations. It's just a different mindset, but I haven't always had that mindset. I had to reprogram my subconscious mind, and I did this completely fully around 42 years old. I've been practicing the secret subconscious mind programming, manifestation since, 2006. So December 18, 2006, when I attempted suicide. 48 hours later, I woke up to a call that recommended the secret, and that's where this whole journey started. But up until 42 years old, I still had deep-rooted, controlled imagination that was controlling my ability to accept the wealth that is already available for me. Okay, so today we're going to break that down a little bit, and I got a lot of feedback that you guys like these videos, but my intention is to free as many people as possible from the just over broke system. You guys know I'm not fancy. I got my shoes on. I just got the whiteboard. I just popped in here. It's early in the morning in our facility. I'll be coaching in just a moment, but this isn't fancy stuff. This is proving to you that you can do this yourself, right? I got a camera right here. I got a microphone hanging off my thing, and I'm sharing information with you guys on how I went from completely broke about 3.5, little under 4 years ago on my mom's couch, losing my money for the 3 times to finally figuring out how the money system works and how I was deeply controlled in my imagination, was able to reprogram my imagination and understanding how wealth works. And I completely flipped the paradigm for myself. And in turn, now that will go from generation to generation. Well, let's talk about the controlled imagination and what we're dealing with right now. So we are still dealing with the residual from our grandparents. Our grandparents went through what's called the Great Depression. The Great Depression was crushing for a lot of families. So if your grandparents obviously went through the Great Depression, your parents' reaction to money and the way they taught you about money and your controlled imagination, when you start to get a conscious mind around 8 o'clock, around 8 years old, when you started thinking for yourself, that came from your parents you were born into. You were born into a condition which they ingrained a definition around money, and that became your reality. So they ingrained a definition, and we're going to dive into the continued control imagination where you're at now. So in order to move into wealth, you need to understand how easy it is to get there. And it's all going to start here. Okay, but remember, if you have to clock in for money, you are always enslaved to money. And until you can learn money to make money work for you, You will always be in this trap. Okay, so let's start with this right here, and then I'll talk. And just so you guys know, my intentions, what are my intentions? My intention is to give you as much free information as possible so you can get up off your feet and you can start doing these things. Now, remember, I failed tons of times. That's why I'm here, okay? Just to be transparent and open with you guys, because people will say, I'll believe it when I see it. We make well over 6 figures per month in passive income. Okay, I have my crypto portfolio. I have an insurance policy to protect my wealth. And I have a little bit of silver to barter against the collapsed US dollar. I own multiple companies. We scaled a 7-figure online company. We're scaling another 7-figure, and we have 2 and 5-figure. So that's what makes me qualified to speak about this. I don't know if this will work for you, but it worked for me. Okay, and it worked for our team. And now we have 27 team members worldwide. Okay, so I'm not saying this is going to work for you, but this is how I got off my mom's couch and how I finally reprogrammed my subconscious mind. And I hope to help you as well. So you ready to free your dome? Give me a thumbs up. I can't see you guys, the comments and stuff like that. I'm doing this live all over Twitter, Facebook. I think I'm on YouTube right now. I got a camera set up with a microphone hanging off there. All right, let's get right into it. So number one, you have a controlled imagination. So when you're a child, when you're born into this beautiful world through the womb, the matrix, your mom, right? All of a sudden you come into this world and you're born into this, boom, you come out. And all of a sudden you're born into this circumstance, right? Maybe you're born into a very, very, very wealthy family. Often wealthy parents have very, very wealthy kids, and poor parents have poor kids. It's not a bad or good thing. It just shows you the circumstance that you're born into is the adopted paradigm, and that paradigm becomes your reality, right? And then some people break free from it. That's why you often see pro athletes who were born in a impoverished circumstance who get a bunch of wealth, often lose their wealth because the paradigm never shifted. The reality shifted because of their talent, but the paradigm never shifted. So they end up back in the same situation. So maybe they meet a mentor or someone who shifts their paradigm, and then they're able to maintain it for a very long time. Okay. So when we're born into our circumstance, unless we have some traumatic thing or some mentor that comes along, you are going to adopt that as your paradigm. Okay. So maybe your parents were very impoverished, right? And your dad left, right? Your dad left with another woman or was a drug addict. Your mom raised you, right? That's the condition that created the definition that became your personality, which became your personal reality. I highly recommend you follow Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's life-changing for me, okay? So let's understand when we're children, though. So I have a 6-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter, right? So my 6-year-old son right now, he is in this like creative state. So we're feeding his imagination and teaching him to have zero ability to lack, right? So I'm teaching him and my daughter that there is no cap to money. It's fluid, it's energy, right? So his controlled imagination is being controlled by me and the paradigm that we're living, the paradigm that I'm living, and my daughter is being controlled by the paradigm that I'm living. And when I talk about money, I explain to them how much we make per hour. I show her how much we make per day. I show her when I wake up in the morning on the weekend that we've made more money than most people make in a month. And that's not to brag. I want my kids to see that. So when my daughter goes in for she works at a job right now. She just got out of high school. So when her job comes to her and says, hey, listen, we're going to give you a 25-cent raise. We're going to give you $200 more a month. She's like, wait a minute. My dad's going to break this down for you just in a moment. You're going to give me $200 a month? And some people are making $200 an hour online as an influencer or having information, things like that. That doesn't make sense to me because the value system is built so strong inside of her because we'll move down to this paradigm. But let's walk through this. So we're born into a controlled imagination. That's through our parents, the Great Depression, right? And then we're about to head into another one. So you're going to be a parent or a leader who either pushes worry down the generational timeline or you push wealth down the generational timeline. This has nothing to do with money. So those people out there keep commenting, oh, it's all about money. It has zero to do with money. Zero to do with money. Zero. You can be spiritual and wealthy. Trust me. That whole paradigm, just stop listening to people that say that. You can be spiritual, you can meditate and do all this stuff, and you can be very, very wealthy. It goes hand in hand. So I don't understand why you can't have both hand in hand. If you have an abundant state of mind and you're present all the time, then money should flow to you. So if there's a money block and you live in a box and you're meditating, it doesn't matter. That wealth is not money. Okay, so I want to make sure that's very, very clear. But it sure as hell relieves a lot of stress when you have financial freedom and you don't have to look at your wallet every single time or look at your bank account when you go to sit down for dinner. And it feels good to be able to take care of your family. It feels good to be able to take care of 27 team members worldwide. It feels good to provide salaries. It feels good. I'm glad I went through this process. I'm glad that I've been able to create financial freedom. And my goal is to help as many of you. Okay. So controlled imagination. That's to your parents, how your parents talked about money, what if your parents were always fighting about money. That is your paradigm now as an adult. That's where you get your fear-based mechanisms from. That's why you keep getting in debt and getting out of debt, getting in debt, getting out of debt, because you haven't dealt with the controlled imagination. So until we deal with this controlled imagination, you will constantly live that same paradigm. That's what happened to me. Okay. So you also have another factor: TV, news, commercials, now social media. So not only did you get controlled in your imagination by your parents, your paradigm was created by them through their definitions and conditions. You also have, you're getting blasted nonstop TV news. You're not good enough. Everything, the sky is falling. You got commercials showing you that your car's not good enough, and everybody's at Disneyland having a great time. And now it's exacerbated by social media, right? Everybody's faking their lives and acting like everything is good to go, taking their great picture at Disneyland when they just fought the whole way down there. Then you got goofballs like me that come on and don't, true authenticity, right? True authenticity. That's the key. I'm giving you a hint. Online business, authenticity will explode your business. Okay. So then you get what's called your reality, a created reality. So your created reality that you're living right now is that gas prices are going to $10. They are. Gas prices going to $10. You're not going to be able to pay for your food, and you're bound by time. You're like, shit, if I can't work more hours, my reality is I can't survive. If I can't go drive Uber, there's a lot of factors going on. But it all starts with the controlled imagination. So I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter what happens with gas prices. It doesn't matter what happens with food prices. If you can comprehend what I'm about to teach you, you will always rise above that. And these opportunities right now, they're coming. So I see when I'm at the gas pump, I just filled up the Corvette out there, and I paid $109 to fill up that little tank. I was like, okay. What that tells me is there's a massive collapse coming. What that tells me is there's going to be some blue light specials, if you remember Kmart, around the stock market and crypto, and that excites me. That's the paradigm shift. Before, 4 years ago, if I was at the gas pump, I'd be like, oh my God, I'd be in the same paradigm, but I controlled my imagination. So what I started to do is I reprogrammed, I took my imagination and I started focusing on abundance. Okay, I started focusing on I'm already free, I'm already wealthy, I'm already healthy, I'm already abundant. And I started to accept that. And I moved from my ego, my head, which is all this is ego and control. And I started moving down into my heart. Okay, again, Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I moved from my head, ego, which they were controlling the ego and fear, left hemisphere of the brain, and I moved into abundance and heart. And so I started to learn how to feel wealthy before it even existed. I already feel like a billionaire, so it's already present within my current frequency and reality. We'll dive deeper into that as well. So I'm going to bring consciousness and business together. That's going to be my skill set. I know that's what I'll be teaching all over the world, thousands of people worldwide, because I'm able to teach this concept. Because if you don't understand these concepts as a business owner, you're going to end up in the same position over and over again. You're going to be worried about what Biden's doing, what Trump is doing, it doesn't matter what they're doing. It matters what you're doing. If they're getting into your head, that means they're messing up your frequency in your heart, and you're always going to be in that cycle. You can go protest all day, ain't nothing going to happen. Your heart's going to start to break, and you're going to start to feel like everything's against you, and this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. The control is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Your frequency is going to get lower and lower and lower. You're never going to get out of it. You're exasperating who you truly are inside. So what I did is I started to get into abundant state of mind, and I started to feel the heart frequency. So I already feel rich. I already feel healthy. And as you can see, I just come as I am, right? I haven't got my beard trimmed. I don't get all fancied up for social media, because in my heart, I see myself as beautiful and amazing. And I really love myself. That's why I therefore can say I love you, because I truly, truly love myself. Okay. So moving from your head, control, ego, left hemisphere of the brain, into your heart, which is abundance, and already feeling it. How do you do that though? Okay. So the controlled imagination is through your parents' paradigm. Your parents, I guess that would be their living reality. It becomes a condition and definition, which becomes your paradigm, which is your personality, which is your reality, right? So what did I do? I started to control this stuff here. So I started to feel it, but then also when you're feeling it, if you keep going back up here, you're just going back and forth. Your ego, feeling good. Ego, feeling good. So I was like, okay, so I need to control the mechanism that's controlling me. TV, news, commercials, social. So I started to control what I saw, what I heard and what I ingested. Have I mastered the ingestion piece? Absolutely not. As I've gained more financial freedom, just being honest with you guys, I eat a lot more liberty. It's pretty fun, but I do fasting every day. So I'll have these periods I'm on and off. But again, it goes into the abundant state of mind, the worthiness, things like that. So I can reverse engineer it back to get my food back on track through asking myself, what is causing it up here in my ego, the left hemisphere of the brain, and get back into the heart space. I'm just enjoying some food right now, right? Okay. See what I'm saying? So we're seeing YouTube videos that are positive. You're watching something positive right now. You're not watching the news and getting all freaked out and getting scared. You're watching something that's positive, that's moving you forward. As you're driving in your car, listening to audiobooks. Okay, don't listen to the radio. Listen to things that are going to lift you up. Okay, I'll get to the money part. Don't worry. Okay, what you ingest is really important. Remember, if you're ingesting dead food all the time, now I eat good whole foods. I eat a lot of food, but I'm ingesting good whole foods that are communicating with my body. If you're eating McDonald's, Jack in the Box, soda all the time, your body is freaked out, man. It's like, what are you doing? And it's messing this up. Because when you ingest improper foods and it's not communicating with your brain, there's a brain in your belly that's communicating up here. This gets out of whack, man. You start watching pornography, you start playing excessive. There's just a cyclic thing that's happening. But they know if they can control what you see, what you hear, what you ingest, they got this, okay? Are you feeling what I'm saying? Because this gets into how you make money online. This gets into how you grow yourself. Because if you can't master this part will be really, really difficult, okay? All right, so then we go into your controlled reality and you become the creator. You move from a reality that's created to a controlled reality. You move from a created I am to a great I am. So I believe in God. I follow the life of Jesus, and I believe that we are great I ams, that we are here to create, that you have a different fingerprint, different DNA. And your job on this earth is to find out who you are, but you can't find out who you are if somebody else is telling you who you are. Right? So when you start to control what you see, what you hear, what you ingest, and you start to abundantly connect with your heart, you'll start to align with ideas, people, things, places that show you who you truly are. Some people will come, some people will go, and you'll start to see that your life is just frequency. Okay, so now that we've understood that we need to move into an abundant state of mind, controlling what we see, what we hear, what we ingest, and start to control everything, become control versus being controlled, now you need to understand how to get there, right? So how many of you, comment next to this video here, I can't see the comments, sorry, would like to make six figures, right? I think that's the first, I like to make six figures. Now remember, in the process of becoming a millionaire, who are you becoming? Now, it's not that difficult to become a millionaire numbers-wise, but it's one of the biggest jumps to a million. Okay, so once we got to the million, I was like, okay,